everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to what are we now? Episode 6 of RedE2Start podcast. So,
Yes.
Nick, I'm going to let you take it away on this one.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm just starting off. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, your throat like I gotta improvise. I have to improvise now.
Haven't you learned I do that every episode?
Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the RedE2Start podcast. Today's special guest, and I got to admit, I'm actually a very big fan. We have JackedZilla here. Are we all clapping? Yay!
Yay!
JackedZilla is a awesome Twitch streamer. Why don't you know what? I'll leave it to you, Jack. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
About myself, there isn't much to tell, man. You were summed it up. Make content, stream, lift weights. Great.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. No, that's great. I know you stream. I mean, you are so entertaining to watch when you're playing your Call of Duty with your Call of Duty streams. I know you've been switching it up lately.
Yeah, Call of Duty's.
Well, we all know
fun moments are far and few in between.
But dude, you handle everything so well. Especially like the BS talk and everything on Search and Destroy. Your Search and Destroy team. I watched it a lot when you and your buddies would be playing Search and Destroy, and you guys just killing it, dude. And well, I guess let's start. Let's bring up the whole topic about Call of Duty and what's happening with the franchise and where it's turning, where it's going to go, and just like in general, the future of battle royales.
Wow, you just skipped our entire intro. See, this is what happens when I let you take over the podcast.
Oh my God, Punisher! I'm so sorry, bro. And
okay.
let's swap traditions with the and also we have Punisher 305.
It's all good.
And we have Punisher 305. I'm so sorry. I'm just hype and excited.
Actually, when you were talking, I'm like, yes, please go on. Also, I was on it. I forgot that I was here too. I was like, yes.
Punisher, I'm so sorry, bro.
Dude,
go ahead,
man.
You just listened to the podcast, hanging out.
Yeah, man. It's like, But
and you forgot to say Josie's not here this week.
Oh yeah, Josie's not here. See, this is what happens, Logan, when you put me on the spot like that.
Hey, I told you earlier today I was going to let you run an episode.
Yeah. Well, I messed it up already. So
good job.
Don't worry about it. That's how we learn and go.
It's only episode 6. It's only episode 6.
It's only episode 6. So Punisher, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am going to do that right now. Yo. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Punisher 305 from the Miami Geeks in the house. And I got nothing else to say. Just that's all.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
So it's one of those nights.
Now, and also my co-host, you know him. His name, he goes by Logan. I call him Red Bandana.
Yeah, I'm co-hosting tonight on my own.
Oh, my co-host
channel. That's great.
Right up over
in the corner.
Right over there. Logan, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Well, everybody here knows who I am. It's my channel. If you don't,
that's true. This is very
and everybody who watches this later still is subscribed to me according to my analytics. So you guys know me.
Wait, your name is Logan?
Are you what? Yes. I go by Logan because that is my name. And I run this channel and I've created this amazing podcast. Thank you. And thank you, JackedZilla, for joining us for episode 6. I greatly appreciate it. And so without any further ado, Nick, go ahead. Let's pull up your Call of Duty topics.
Okay. Now that we got that all out of the way, I think, me personally, I think Battle Royale in general is in a weird state. It's not what it used to be. All right. We love the Verdansk. We all miss Verdansk, right?
Who, what, where?
Verdansk.
I don't know how. I'm Midwest.
I miss like alpha days of PUBG. That's when.
Yes.
Early days of PUBG to beta to like early release when Shroud and all the boys were on. That is when BRs were like delicious.
It's like you guys are speaking another language.
I watched quite a bit too. I kind of got late on the late end of PUBG when I started actually getting into PUBG when I was watching Dr. Disrespect play PUBG, and that was so entertaining and so much fun.
The amount of laughs and memes in that game that happened, Call of Duty could never match that.
Yeah. No. And now Well, speaking on the topic of PUBG, have you played Butthole or Bluehole's new Bluehole? Right?
What? Wait, what?
There's a
person already.
there is a BR out called Super People. Have you?
Yeah, I tried it. I'm not big on games with superpowers though.
Yeah, and that was kind of like Super People is kind of like my introduction to PUBG. I've never played PUBG. You know what I mean? And I wanted to get into it. I might get into it because they keep releasing new maps. Like I think I don't know how new, because I'm not keeping up with the times with PUBG and all that stuff. But yeah, so there's Super People. There was another one that was an alpha release or a beta release. Can't think of the name of it at the moment, but it'll come up. However, so yeah. What have you played DMZ at all? Well, no, you were playing DMZ.
Yeah, I tried.
Praised DMZ for quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I tried it out. It was like a fun, relaxed Warzone / wannabe Tarkov.
Yeah. I call it the poor man's Tarkov. To be honest.
What's Tarkov?
Escape from Tarkov? Have you tried it or no?
I think Jack, you got to elaborate on how great Tarkov is.
You've never heard of it?
They don't play shooters. They don't play shooters.
I play shooters on console.
Okay. Tarkov is PC only game.
Yeah.
But that is like the most intricate shooter you'll ever play. Like, for example, you get shot in that game. In other games, like, say, Call of Duty, you just throw on plates, right? You're good to go again. In that game, you got a light bleed, you got a heavy bleed, you got fractures, you got blacked out limbs that you got to perform surgery on. So it's like you can't just throw a band-aid on and call it a day. You got to look at what the actual, the damage is, then heal it as depending on what it is. Let's say you got a heavy bleed and a fracture, you got to stop the bleed first, or you're going to bleed out and then you fix the fracture. So I don't know if you guys played DayZ. It's similar to that.
Okay.
But it's a little bit, it's faster pace. It's a looter shooter / survival. Armors, for example, there isn't just like levels to armor. There's actual like different composites to armor, like ceramic and steel. They all repair different. They all break down at different rates. They all stop different caliber rounds. It's literally the most realistic shooter you'll probably play to date. Very, very intricate. But right now, the big problem has happened where a lot of content creators are making, I guess, ratting content, where they're just kind of sitting at exfils and camping certain spots. So everybody is just sitting and camping in corners instead of actually going in for PvP and fighting. So a lot of people have gotten bored with the game and kind of backed off of it, and including, the cheater problem was exposed as well.
Yeah, I was hearing that there was quite a bit of a
lot of
like
an
increase of
But I find that's across the board with all games right now, is especially any competitive game or first-person shooter. And everybody's got walls or something.
Yeah, and see, that's what really makes the shooters really obnoxious. I was streaming on TikTok late last night, and I was just playing a multiplayer map, and this one dude just ran a freaking train on everybody. Like, this dude hit like 48 kills and just kept his whole team winning. I forgot what we were playing. We're on the raceway. We're playing like I don't know, one of those where you have to go to the zones, and I don't know. You have to sit at one of the zones. I forgot what it's called.
Hardpoint.
I'm getting old. Yeah, hardpoint. And this dude just ran a train, and I'm just like, I don't want to be one of those streamers where I'm like, they're hacking. This guy was just.
You play long enough, you can kind of tell. Walls, I think, is the easiest thing to tell right now with like silent aim and certain aimbots. It's really difficult to tell, and recoil macros and things like that. But walls, most people slip up. They'll do like shoulder checks. They'll look at peek you through the wall and then hold the corner right after. Like they know which angle you're coming from. They'll do like quick little shoulder peek, or they'll track you through the wall. Like they'll have little tells where it kind of gives away.
Yeah,
they got walls.
Yeah, and
everybody knows Call of Duty timing, man.
Dude,
it's a 50-50 toss-up. You're always gonna fuck that 50.
Always, man. I mean, that's a real thing.
But these guys never mess up. They know exactly. Okay, there's one guy in the front, one behind, one to the right. The next one's gonna be on the left. And
how many?
That perfect.
Yeah, and now Punisher, and Logan, you guys are familiar with what Call of Duty timing is, right?
Oh no, absolutely.
So
I play campaign on Call of Duty.
dude, you know what was awesome? You know what was a really cool surprise?
I don't play competitive multiplayer on anything except for Halo.
What do you guys play, Punisher and Logan? Like,
Uh,
what are your main games?
In
Currently,
game-wise right now,
I'm
I've been off
RPGs.
the grid for a bit. I've been literally off the grid. Like I have my PlayStation right here and everything. I just been off the grid. I haven't played anything for a hot minute. It's been a minute, really long minute. But I should get back on the ball one day. I mean, I really want to play Call of Duty, but since the whole thing with the hackers and all that stuff, it kind of threw me off to a point. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to play because it's just I'm gonna get out there in the field and I'm just gonna get shot for no reason, like apparently anywhere. So I was like, let me just get off.
You know what I do, dude? And it's just I didn't do it with Modern Warfare 2019, which I missed that game so much. Because, dude, FYI, I only recently started getting into competitive shooters, 3 years ago.
Really?
Yes. So, granted, you know, I always post, like when I always post like those good moments, but it's inconsistent. It's 50-50, especially with Apex Legends. Now, I know I had asked you in chat one time you were streaming, Jack. I don't know, you probably don't remember. There's so many people you're talking to at once. But you tried Apex Legends, but you just were like, no, not for me, or what?
No, we played Apex Legends when it first came out for a good solid year and a half.
Okay.
Like it got to the point where we were winning so many games that we were starting to get bored that we started like memeing with like Caustic and stuff like that, just trying to hold people down and trap them in corners and just like do fun shit instead of actually trying to win. Because it was like if we tried, we'd win the game. So we were just messing around at that point. But now going back to it, the movement is so different. Movement mechanic is so different from every other game. Mm-hmm. So you have to like just play Apex, get used to the movement, and then it's even difficult to go back to a different game.
Yes,
to get a routine. Versus like if you play Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Valorant, like all that movement kind of carries over.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Call of Duty is, I would call like an arcadey type shooter.
And the biggest thing with Call of Duty that frustrates me is the SBMM aspects of it, and no dedicated servers. Like you'll play a match. I'll drop 25 kills in search and destroy, and then the next one I'll be bottom fragging with 2 kills because it feels like I'm shooting marshmallows. Nothing is registering, nothing is hidden. I feel like I'm mag dumping somebody. They turn around, 2-tap me in the ankles, and I'm just sitting there like.
And that's what brings just the absolute frustration. And I think the type of BS that you want to avoid, Punisher, is like that's. You know, and skill-based matchmaking is just one of those things where. Do we just get rid of it altogether and only use it for ranked play? You know what I mean?
Would probably say, yeah, man, that'd be pretty fun. I mean, I used to love COD. Like, you will not catch me one day without me playing at least a couple matches on COD and go to sleep like at 1 or 2 in the morning to wake up the next day to work.
I miss that feeling.
It was actually, yeah, it's one of those moments. I used to like those, and I was like, you know, but dude, this like. I haven't been on COD for such a long time. And now that we're talking about it, what's going on with season 3 and the mess? I mean, there's something going on. I haven't been on COD, so what's going on? Like, can you guys explain to me?
Nick, you've been talking about that. You've been posting content about season 3. I saw the short you did with the Rock thing, and I was like, okay, is that really such a mess? I thought once they added Shredder, people were loving it.
Let's hear Jack's opinion on the new season.
Well, we got 3 beautiful crappy maps that nobody plays, everybody backs out of. So then you'll be sitting in queue trying to find a match for about 15-20 minutes just to play one match because nobody wants to play the 3 new maps they're released because they're horrible.
And that's the only ones they're putting on rotation.
Yeah. And then they promised a bunch of their partners and content creators that they're going to release a bunch of great stuff, movement changes, and all this other stuff. So the content creators went out of their way and they hyped it up. And then they got absolutely roasted for it because Call of Duty didn't deliver on the promises that they made. There was no changes, nothing good came out of it, and then a couple other guys were like getting death threats and a bunch of other stuff, which is freaking weird to me, man. People threatening people online, like what is wrong with you? Like tell me you got no balls without telling me you got no balls.
I know, dude. It's the most
really.
And the question, and the question too is, are these grown men doing it? Like, are these really grown men?
I think it's a mix, man. I think it's a mix. Like from me being in chat and Call of Duty, like I've had some people show up and you can tell some of them they're youngin, but you can also tell some of them are like, you know, mid-20s at least, talking crap and threatening.
Yeah, I have when I
Those are
stream.
still kids these days. If you're in your 20s, I still feel like they're kids, and I'm like, they just. It feels like the kid generation is getting older, but they're still kids.
Yeah,
it's like you could be like 25, 26, and you're still a kid.
Wait. Let me correct myself. I'm 40 something. I'm still a kid. Let's make myself a little clearer. Okay.
Punisher, stop hounding us, man. We're all old, but we got no idea what the hell we're doing. We're just pretending to know what we're doing.
I think you're the youngest one here, Jack.
Through life, at least. We're just trying to wing it. Right now, we're like, we're gonna live the next day because we're just all messed up. I'm just saying.
Wait, you said Jax is the youngest one here?
I think so. What are you in your early 30s? Jack?
34.
Yeah, you're 34. I'm 38.
Wow, I'm 39.
Yeah.
I'll be 40 later in October.
You know what though?
I'm old.
Crap, I'm 43. Jesus.
Oh, well,
kids.
Jesus.
I'm starting, bro. I'm starting to get a couple like
I've got a couple here and there.
And not even like it's not, you know, like that salt and pepper is cool when it's like salt and pepper, not when you have like a couple hanging out, like
2 strands of white sticking.
Yeah, a couple strands of white. Yeah.
Adults don't play video games.
Cody, I'm sorry, but you should never say that, Cody. Never.
Or that's what some people think.
Oh, that's the classic, man, where people are like, oh, you're old, you shouldn't play games. Who do you think develops your games?
I was literally going to say,
invests in them? Who do you think runs the esports teams? Who do you think owns all the esports events? Who do you think organizes everything? It's us old farts.
I'm telling you.
We run everything. You just play the shit we made.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, going back to season 3, and just in general, I just want to kind of go back before if you really want to enjoy at least how I'm enjoying Call of Duty, play the multiplayer stuff, go do the dailies, and I stream on TikTok in the mornings. I have a whole different type of people that come in on TikTok in the mornings, and we hang out, we chat. I mute everybody. I'll even play I love gunfights. Like I could play gunfights all night. That's one of my favorite things in Call of Duty. You just mute everybody, do the dailies, and just you'll have all around a better time.
I don't mind some of the crap talk. I love the creative crap talk where even like somebody throws me a good dig, I'm like, oh, okay, you got me. God damn it, you burned me. But it's like the random screaming into the microphone on the racism. It's like, you need some brain cells, man. Like, what's going on with you?
Sometimes you just got to fight fire with fire and just tell them that's not what your mom said last night. And
that's what I mean. Like, it's fun roasting back and forth. I think all of us here grew up roasting our friends and getting roasted by our friends and growing up in all the Call of Duty lobbies and roasting each other. And it's just like, it's a fun time. But, you know, there's still, you know, limits to what you're going to say out in the public and stuff like that.
So, okay.
And another secret to have fun in Call of Duty is, you know, drink a lot.
Yes, absolutely. I learned how to quick scope under the influence of alcohol.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's that, Punisher?
Wow.
That you can do that. It's amazing. I could barely even do a double slide. Like, you know, the whole and just got to get up. I can't
the slide cancel.
I can't. If my life depended on it, I could not do it. Like, I'm sorry, guys. We're just going to die today. Like, I just can't make it happen. I can't.
No,
I mean, I'm fast enough, but I just can't. I just don't know how. I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong.
Did they finally? It looks like they've adjusted on Call of Duty the controls and the sliding again. Before you felt like before there was like no slide. I feel like, and now they kind of adjusted.
You slide, but you can't shoot or pull up your gun. There's a use delay. So diving is still key to get out of the way.
Okay, so the dolphin diving.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, there's like a front dive. I know there's a slide. Like in Halo, you can.
So instead of diving, instead of sliding, last one was sliding. This one is all about diving.
That's nice. That's weird.
Yeah.
I find that weird.
Head first.
I'll
go back to GoldenEye. I enjoy playing GoldenEye.
And they call it a realistic shooter. You know, while you're belly flopping out the window.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, I've seen that too.
Legit. Yeah, I've seen it in real life. Yeah. People do it all the time.
At third story window, just belly flop out the pavement.
What do you, Jack? What do you think?
Jeez.
What do you think of Unrecord? How
Unrecord?
awesome? Yeah,
Man,
how awesome
it
does
looks
that look,
insane.
It looks so good. Now, for work, I work in the Unreal 4 engine, and that stuff was.
That's awesome.
And I only know like the tip, like I do it for architectural visualizations, right? So I take a home, I put it in the Unreal engine, I texture it, I light things, and then I convert that into like a virtual VR experience. So you could walk through it with a VR headset or like.
So you're doing like the real estate VR.
Yes, stuff like that. Man. I haven't done it lately. We're switching over to other options because home builders and they don't know how to use a keyboard to maneuver with the WSAD and a mouse. Like these are the type of people that you deal with. But I digress. I'm just saying, like, I have experience working in the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
And I thought Unreal 4 was nuts. Unreal 5 is on a whole other level.
Dude, even the audio.
Dude.
Like the sound of the shells hitting the floor and the breeze in the room and the echo and everything. I was just like, and it actually took me a minute to watch the clip and look for the little cues, like the smoke and the shading on the gun a little bit to find like the cues that is not real, that it's not actual footage.
That uncanny valley.
Spectre X I saw posted and I watched his clip and I was like, oh, he's just trolling. It's an actual like, and then like I rewatched it the second time. I was like, nah, that's a game.
See, I knew it was a game because I've actually built things in Unreal Engine 4. They didn't give us 5, but I built things and I could see artifacting and some kind of fragmentation and pixelation where people are like, no, it's real. I'm like, no, look at that right there. No, look at that right there.
You gotta find those little cues though. Yeah. You gotta know what you're looking for.
You guys talk about that one game that they just been kind of like blowing up around there. It looks like a real
POV
game.
Yeah.
What gave it away was actually the point of view of where the guy had the camera and the gun. So I was like, there's no freaking way. Like, there's no.
He would technically have to have the camera somewhere around his mouth.
GoPro right here or something when he's shooting.
In order to have this
angle, they tried to make it look like a high chest cam.
Yeah. I've seen them before. I work with them, and the camera's usually like right here, dead on.
Yeah.
And then the way he was positioning his gun around most of the time, I'm like, wait a minute.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, but then I was like, okay, this is an actual game. But I'm gonna tell you something. Honest to God, I almost thought that was real. I'm like, there's no freaking way that's a game. Honest to God, until you kind of watch it a couple more times, and you're like, okay, I see not the pixelations, but at least you can see some of the graphics in there. You're like, okay, wait a minute, that doesn't look
the backgrounds
right.
on places where he stops for a second. That's when you have to look. Yeah,
and especially like the whole thing with the light of the flashlight when he's looking around. There's no way the flashlight is just that narrow. It'll brighten up a certain area in a real life, but in the game, you kind of notice certain things. You're like, wait a minute, that light doesn't flash like that. What are you doing?
Well, I just think that we're at just this great spot where we can actually, like, we're not arguing or anything, but like we have to get to that point. Of like, wait a minute, like what's going to be the cue to realize that this is actually a game. Now, the thing that really gives it away, and it'll always give it away, is the character, the human movement, the face. I did a video on the Unrecord trailer, and I talked about this. Unrecord, they blur out the faces, right? Which I think it's kind of cool.
Is it going to be in the game though? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think we're all wondering. And you know what? It's PC, dude. Someone's gonna come up with a mod to take the blur off. You know what I mean?
They might. They'll probably put like Thomas the Train right there in that face. Like,
dude, Resident Evil with Thomas the Train, dude. Have you seen those?
That was weird.
It's amazing. That's all.
It's weird.
And and another thing with Unrecord, which I was like, whoa. Like, I own firearms, right? So like when he fires the gun,
the recoil
and the motion of the recoil, because when you fire a gun, it goes up and then it wobbles. It kind of goes up and it shakes. And Unrecord does it like brilliantly. And I'm just super hyped for it. But do you think there'll be a multiplayer mode or just a single player campaign?
I think the first one will come out and it'll be just single player to kind of test the engines, the limits of the engine. And I think it will just get better from there. And we'll start getting multiplayer games, etc., to go with it as well. I think we still got to advance a little bit on that, but I think it'll be there eventually. My biggest thing was watching a couple of content creators point out that it's desensitizing and other crap.
And you know what I argue with? I go, parent your kids. Parent your kids and don't let them play it.
Kids, and when you're talking desensitizing, look at all the shit you can find online, man. If you want to get desensitized, you don't got to play a video game.
Well,
Head
No,
over
no.
to
they took
Twitter,
out-
head over
I
to
mean,
Telegram, head over to
TikTok.
Reddit. Like the list goes on. Use
Well, dude,
Google. Like if
Reddit
you want
just
to look at
recently,
that shit, you're gonna find that shit.
Just
Dude,
recently, I find out they took off Live Leak,
Yeah.
which that's where you
Yeah.
can see
Oh, be careful.
They shut that down.
Oh, be careful.
God.
I saw.
They
I
took
had
that
I had
thing out.
morbid curiosity, and someone was recording a very bad truck accident. This truck,
Oh, there's literally
dude. This
that
dude's
website
head.
had everything.
This dude's head was like 50 yards away from the accident, and the dude's SUV was in crumbles, and you could see the guy's head, and it looked almost like a prosthetic.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. You got to stay away from Live Leak, dude.
No, yeah.
Or
I'm
watch.
more than
I'm not
down
going to say the
already.
subreddit. I'm not going to say the
Yeah,
subreddit.
they shut the leak one down.
Did they shut that one? Did
Yeah,
they?
shut
Did
it down?
did
I
they
think 2 years
shut-
ago, 3 years ago.
did they shut down the Watch People Die one?
I'm not sure about that.
I shouldn't have said the subreddit because I don't want to promote that stuff. I think it's
Yeah,
disgusting.
you should call that.
It's
Call
too
them
late.
out. Let the people do some work if they want to find that shit.
Yeah.
It's okay. People will
But the
watch
point
this
being,
after this airs, and
you're
then they'll
saying a
write it
video
down.
game is desensitizing. That's kind of, I don't know, man.
See,
Even Hollywood, there's enough Hollywood movies that are.
Oh
very,
yeah, dude.
very-
Look at John Wick.
John Wick,
Horrifying.
Saving Private Ryan. Like, there's a list goes on of movies that are just absolutely amazing cinematography that you could call desensitizing.
now one thing I think about this whole what's it called again? What?
Unrecorded.
On record.
Unrecorded. Okay, so if you have video games starting to look that real, are they even video games anymore? I miss those days when video games, you look at it, it's like, I'm going to play some video games. And now it just feels like, all right, you're playing something that looks like a movie. And it's just not the same. It takes you out of that and makes you, I don't know, there's just something that disconnect.
I mean, if you think about it, it's almost like the movie Gamer with Gerard Butler. That's what we're coming close to it as it is right now.
Yeah. I was hoping we'd go more towards Ready Player One, but
I mean, that too. That too.
yeah, it looks more like Gamer, but yeah, Ready Player One wasn't that
I think
bad.
there'll always be a balance of like games that look like Fortnite and stuff like that you can hop on and it's just a game that you're gonna play.
Right.
But also, I think there's an aspect of gaming where you want to be kind of immersed into the game. Like for me, you guys didn't know what Escape from Tarkov is, but playing Escape from Tarkov in on record environment and graphics will be absolutely insane. Like I would drain hours and hours and hours into that. Like playing Tarkov style on record, Jesus Christ,
Dude, imagine. And you know what though? Here's the thing. It's we're going to get that. That's the thing. We're going to get that level of and especially
I wouldn't
with
mind something looking that good in a game like I'm currently playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. If Jedi Survivor looked like that, that'd be great.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Something that's straight up. It's still Star Wars, so it's not real, but to have it look better than the current Star Wars movies, would just be fantastic. But
just better in general than any of the new Star Wars movies.
I wouldn't want my Legend of Zelda looking like that. Imagine Mario.
Yeah, but they're not going to do
Zelda.
that till switching Zelda over to that, right? Like, because
I
they'll be.
I even brought that
more
up,
like,
dude. It's so funny. I'm like, imagine a Zelda game like that. That would be insane. But Nintendo wouldn't. Nintendo won't do it. Nintendo wouldn't do it.
They're
going to keep that.
I mean,
the game was.
They
gonna
were
be kept
close
as a
enough
game.
though. Yeah, they were close enough though with the Wii U when they came up with Zombie. That
I have that
an
game.
actual
It's actually
zombie
pretty
game,
good.
which I was like, man, wow, this looks pretty crazy.
But it
then
was
you see on the Wii,
Ubisoft. It wasn't actually Nintendo. Nintendo.
No, but the Wii
knows
U
where
still
to-
first the ones that came out with it before any other platform. And I was like, that's pretty interesting for a Wii U to come up with such a serious game.
For an exclusive,
Then, and then they put it out there for everybody else.
You know what?
It was just
I'm
pretty
curious,
interesting.
Jack. I'm sorry for talking over you, Punisher. I'm just like I'm
Yeah,
still trying to.
serious.
I'm just excited here. Okay.
I'm
Calm
excited.
down.
Jack,
Calm
what other
down.
games besides shooters do you play? Or are you strictly just shooters?
I'll play some Age of Empires and some
Age of
things like that
Empires?
once in a while, but mainly shooters. Yeah.
Have you ever got into StarCraft?
No,
Oh, dude.
I know what it is.
If you like RTS,
I like that. No.
Like I said,
That
I've
was
just
the
been
greatest
my whole life.
no.
I don't know why the FPS aspect, like the competitive PvP, like even like story mode games. There's very few that I have played and enjoyed because I just like the human versus human competitive aspect of gaming. And that's why kind of like Call of Duty's killing it for me right now, because of the SBMM and the cheater problem in FPS gaming, where it kind of is taking the human versus human element out, and oftentimes you're left wondering, like, was that guy cheating or was he actually really good at the game? Like the few games that we have where I actually run into people that you can tell they were just good. It's just like, man, that was win or lose. It was a great game. You're an amazing player. It was fun. It was a blast.
Yeah. Those. I got goosebumps actually thinking about it. I know you can't see it. I don't want to show off my goosebumps, but you're absolutely correct. I think that
actually, I want to see. I want to see your goosebumps. Show it right up to the camera.
Well, if you got
goosebumps,
you already know.
I don't want to take, dude. We already got the gun show going on over here, dude. I don't want to take it away from JackedZilla. You know, the tickets, you know, they're not free.
I mean,
all right.
Me. I was about to show you on my screen when you're like, oh, go ahead, show me some more, son. I want to see what you got.
Hey, you want to see Pale? I'll show you Pale.
There we go.
Let's see Pale.
Now I know you're a family man. Are your kids into shooters, right?
Yeah.
What age do you think it's appropriate for kids to start playing games like Call of Duty or Apex Legends or any competitive shooter, especially with Contra? Contra's classic, especially with the aspect
being a parent, you know, knowing your kid ain't gonna say dumb stuff online and teaching them that games are games.
Yeah. You know? Even with the language and the discourse that comes with online games, do you know, like, I don't know. I'm not I don't know.
My older one, I guess, little Zilla, he whenever he started taking interest and his friends started playing Call of Duty and Rust and things like that, I was like, go ahead.
Yeah, you can't.
I played it at a young age. I was fine. Like back home in Estonia in grade 1, I remember to this day, in grade 1, police officers show up to your class and they bring firearms to teach you firearm safety. They teach you everything like that.
Holy cow.
And everybody right from a young age, you know, like keep your booger finger off the trigger. Don't point it at anything you don't want to shoot, whether it's empty or not. Like they teach you all that stuff in grade 1 to make sure that everybody knows basic weapon safety.
Holy cow.
Yeah. That's
that.
And then you grow up at a young age knowing like those are not toys. You don't play with those.
So you grew up in Estonia?
Yeah.
For how long? How long until you ended up here in the wonderful U.S. of A?
I'm in Canada land actually, but
oh wow,
I think 16 years ago, something like that.
Oh, you're Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah. The land of the high taxes.
How many languages can you speak?
Living costs.
you just speak
Russian, Estonian, Ukrainian, and a little bit of English.
I was gonna say probably
a little bit,
Slavic.
A little bit of English.
See, I've always thought that was amazing, and I remember when I was in Paris and I was walking past a school, and there's these little kids, and they're all talking French, but then you notice that Tim Hortons actually good.
Tim Hortons actually good. I've had Dunkin' Donuts, and there's certain things that are better at Dunkin' Donuts, and there's certain things that are better at Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons has good apple fritters, but man, I don't know what's going on with them lately. 9.9 out of 10 times they'll mess up your order.
Damn. Yeah, I know. Tim Hortons.
I've only heard of Tim Hortons because there's a thing, I guess, a page on Instagram called Canalian. It's a guy who uses Grogu, and he does Canadian jokes and stuff as a Canadian. And because he talks about Tim Hortons on there, that's the only time I've ever heard of it. It's a coffee place or something like that?
It's like Dunkin' Donuts, Canadian Dunkin' Donuts, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, we have plenty of Dunkin' Donuts here. So,
but I'll say I've been to U.S. quite often. Dunkin' Donuts, usually every time where I go in Syracuse and that area, amazing staff every time. They're absolutely hilarious. Over here, everybody seems so salty. Like they're just eating their life.
Well, they are in Canada.
No,
sorry
cool.
to our viewers. I don't know. I don't have that many. Actually,
sorry, I'm in Canada. I'll take no offense. It's all good.
I'd imagine living in Canada is kind of very similar to the U.S. in general, anyways, right?
We are like your baby brother.
Yeah. I don't think there's too much. You know, I don't like.
True? Is
Tim
that
Hortons
true?
owns Burger King
I'm
and
not
Popeyes.
too sure, actually. Tim Hortons is a big franchise, though.
Company?
It's a big corporation.
I gotta say, I will challenge this debate. Popeyes has the best chicken sandwich. Fast food.
2 weeks in a row, I'm going to have to kick you from the podcast for good.
Oh
for saying
no,
that.
here it comes. Oh boy. Dude, what's a better chicken sandwich than Popeye's spicy chicken?
Chick-fil-A.
No
Best
way.
ever.
What?
No way.
And then PDQ.
Doesn't Chick-fil-A's does not even come
That's
close
an
to
easy
Popeyes.
settlement you guys can do on stream. Okay.
This
Each
is,
get 50 burgers. First one to crush it wins. There you go.
Hell yeah. 50 burgers? Dude, I'll kill it right now. Right now.
I like
okay,
that.
I wouldn't even be
I
part of
think
this
the
whole thing.
most
Just
you
give me the
do with
burgers. I'll
the
eat them
chicken
right here.
sandwiches is about 5.
I don't care.
You
I'll
gotta
try
do it,
I'll
man.
try-
It'll be
I'll
good
try
content.
it.
No,
Everybody will watch.
No,
I
what's
want to
what's
tune
the
in.
fat-
I want to
what's
see
the
how
fat
many
guy
gets
that does
surprised.
that on YouTube? What's the fat guy?
damn,
Which one? There's like a
that
bunch
guy.
of them.
That
No,
guy?
there's that guy that's eating, that just eats and eats and eats, and people.
You know,
It's
the
like
guy with the
watching a
double
train
chin
wreck.
on his boobs.
It's like
and stuff?
watching
That
a
guy?
train wreck.
It is. I mean, it's like it's so gross, and people keep referencing him. Whether you're talking about, I don't know, all these commentators, they talk about him all the time, and I'm like, but it's gross. Why are people watching this
Are
stuff?
you talking
And
about
I'm
the mukbang or what's it called?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
the guy's just massive, and he's just eats whatever until he vomits sometimes. And I'm like,
Stop.
Dude, there's
and
a guy.
he's got like 1 million subsubscribers.
Are you talking about the guy that slams like 2 liters of cola and just belches?
You're talking about fat Chugs,
yeah.
Badlands Chugs.
That's what
He's
he goes
awesome,
by.
man. He's like, yeah, he talks like this.
I
What's
just
up,
yes,
everybody?
yes.
We're gonna talk about drinking chugs, and if you subscribe right now, you're gonna see me chug this big old Das Boot. And it's like you just watching me, like, all right, come on, just drink.
Like,
Oh, no,
Let's see how fast you
that's a
do it.
completely different guy. But why?
The
We're
mukbang
sitting here
stuff,
trying to
man.
bring quality gaming content, and people just sit there and drink something or eat something
Exactly.
to like
It's a
to the
subculture
point of
thing.
no return, and then they get more subscribers and money and everything. I'm like, this is
Well,
what?
on the topic of this grossness, like the Asians love doing this stuff, and I was going through TikTok, and that's how I discovered you initially, Jacked. I found you on
Why?
TikTok.
Because I was eating.
No, just see, this is my
Middle cod, he was
ADD.
having a
This is my
sandwich.
ADD, bro. All right, my brain's just like bing, 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 bing. You know.
It's all right.
But anyways, I digress. So this Asian woman is literally like at a park, like it's a picnic setup, and has these giant spiders, bro, big ones. And there's like a sauce, I don't know, some sort of hoisin sauce or something. And this woman is dipping these giant spiders in this
Oh, I think
Oh.
I know what you're talking about. She does like squids and other stuff too. She just
Yeah,
dips it in, bites
dude.
it, and like squids.
all
is
alive,
everywhere. Yeah.
and she's just like, like she's at like the old fashioned buffet, dude. And I go,
Girl says
I'm
she
like,
doesn't- I'm gonna say something. She better not say she doesn't swallow. Just gonna say.
oh,
Better-
gosh. Dude,
I
just
don't
imagine.
Good night, everybody.
Imagine the fun you could have with that
Snake and
one.
3 spiders.
But it's just that like the
Thank
internet.
God
has-
Josie's not here tonight.
oh my gosh, that poor girl.
She'll probably
That
watch this.
poor
Sorry,
girl, man.
Josie.
If she's watching this or ends up watching
Well,
it, God bless
she's at
her
work
soul.
right now, so
This
She's-
poor girl.
I can only imagine she's on the phone going.
She's a trooper though. She
Guys.
puts up with our humor, man.
yeah, she does.
I
So-
like her. She's awesome.
This is a good. This is a good segue into what I wanted to talk about. Like as somebody who's a gamer and also into fitness, you know. Now
Fitness
you're a
hold pizza
power.
in my mouth.
What happened?
The joke, fitness hold pizza in my mouth. Wow. Okay. Somebody had to make the dad joke.
All right,
The
hold on.
one who's
We're
not
getting-
a
we're
dad
getting-
here.
Hold on,
All
we're
right.
getting to the topic I want to know. The deadlifts. Talk, please. Go.
Oh yes, yeah. This is the guy. No, this is
No.
the guy. He's the guy for deadlifts, man. Everything.
What about him?
You know, I can't do them. Since I've had my back surgery, I have to be very careful.
You
with
got to
what I
be
do.
very careful on form with that.
I got
if-
into
if
a
it's
car
not a
accident when I
machine-
was 16. I've been in quite a few car accidents, never been the driver. I've
Wow.
had like one really bad one, walked out without a scratch. But the smallest car accident I had, I got sciatica.
Really?
And then, so now every time my back flares up, so deadlifts have been like a slow build for me to bring it up, dialing in that form perfectly. And usually I find even like if I hurt my back a little bit and sciatica kicks in, couple of low reps of deadlifts and then hanging off the chin up bar and just like twisting side to side to stretch the sciatica out, get to go the next day. Maybe
So-
Tiger Palm and ibuprofen.
Did you have any surgery?
No, I just had like chiropractor and massage therapy for 2 years, and then it kind of got me to a point where I was semi-normal.
Yeah, because
Hey,
I
Jack.
had a laminectomy now 10 years ago, and
Yeah,
I still haven't been right since. I can't. There's certain sports I can't play. The surgeon was like, "You can't do this, you can't do that ever," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So he's like, "Unless you want it to happen again," and I was like, "So that's why there's certain things I can
deadlifts
only do
aren't a
if it's a
must.
machine."
I mean, like there's a lot of stuff you can
Yeah.
do to kind of hit the benefits of deadlifts without doing deadlifts per se.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask you,
unfortunately, the gym I'm at has really it's crappy, but they're opening a crunch, so I'm gonna go.
I
there.
canceled my
Run
gym
Sunday.
membership, but I have what I call a baby gym in my back room. You've Logan,
Isn't that your garage?
no, well, my treadmill and my heavy bag is in my garage.
Oh, okay.
I
So what are you
just
gonna
don't
say,
want.
Punisher?
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, John. Jack. Sorry. Have you ever had tennis elbow by any chance?
More
I
times
have
than
it.
I can count.
I have
Tell
it.
me how you take care of that, dude. Because when I was at the station, I was actually trying to go back to my regular 200 and something pound bench press, but then I started curling, and all of a sudden I just start feeling a strain again on my elbow. This will be the second time I had tennis elbow, and I can't get this one out. I can't crank this one out. I'm like, man, I let it rest. I put it in a sling. I'll put like an armband, drink an Advil or whatnot. Just kind of let it relax. And I'm kind of curious, out of everything you've done, how will you take care of that?
So I did bodybuilding for about 10 years. My body always felt, especially my joints and tendons and the smaller muscles, like the
Yeah.
tennis elbow, your bicep tendon, your wrist, and things like that were always hurting because you do a lot of biceps, you do triceps, you do shoulder
Big
work, you
time,
do all
man.
this other stuff. But since I switched to strongman and doing more compound movements like sandbags, yoke carries, deadlifts, squats, overhead press, all that pain has gone away. And when I was getting tennis elbow, usually it would just be like I'd lean onto the bar with my palm out and then lean over top of it and then roll it over and do it from the bottom side as well. And keep stretching it over and over and avoid like doing bicep curls, avoid doing triceps, avoid shoulders to be more like overhead press and things like that. Even now, like I have 2 days incorporated into my workout where I'm supposed to hit biceps and triceps, but I just use resistance bands and just go for like 40, 50 reps of resistance bands to get the stretch and the pump, and then I stop.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I was
I'm
kinda
actually
wondering,
like
man, 'cause I was
hit
like,
them.
damn.
It's like the only kind of injuries. Okay, I did end up getting tennis elbow because I was throwing bows at the heavy bag. I was just throwing bows, and one day, dude, I did an overhead bow. Bam, dude. And I had it's taken years, and every once in a while, that stuff will flare up to the point where you feel it in your elbow, but then for me at least, it goes all the way down into my hand, and it lightens up my grip. You know, it actually loosens up my grip
because it's all connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's connected on
And-
both sides. That's why, like, to get rid of tennis elbow, you don't actually stretch your elbow, you stretch your forearm because that's what pulls the tendon.
Okay. And I was at the driving range, just hitting my 300-yard drives. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a monster. I can't do 300 yards. I've done like I think the most I've done was like 260. But dude, if you have bad form and you're golfing and you're driving at a driving range, you will mess your stuff up, dude. I messed up my left knee. I messed up my right shoulder, and for almost 8 months. My right shoulder was in pain. And you know how I would do I would start with shoulder presses with the dumbbell, and I'd be in so much pain on starting the first set. But as soon as the blood started flowing and you get that muscle going, the pain would go away. Like you actually have to work that muscle. I talked to physical therapist. He's like, yeah, you actually have to work it. And that's crazy too, where like you're in pain, but you still have to work it and it goes away.
Rehab therapy.
So have you compete? So you competed then?
I did one powerlifting competition with the boys to kind of.
I saw you
we had a
recently
big crew
posted.
There, and it was great.
Yeah, like a couple months ago, you were doing a competition, right, dude? That had to have been like such a cool experience.
Yeah, it was fun. Like I said, we had like 7, 8 of us there that we all kind of went together, and those guys have done it quite a few times, and all the gym guys local that we kind of all know each other. So it was a good time. It was like going hanging out with the boys for the day and lift weights.
That's cool. So is that something you're going to probably continue to do, or?
Yeah, they should have a competition in my town once a year, and I'll probably kind of once a year go and hang out with the boys and do it.
No, I think I think that's great. Yeah, but I noticed now. Have you always been into boxing, or have you recently got into it?
I have always liked boxing, but been too poor to afford boxing, and my schedule has been too hectic.
You and me both.
Immigrant life. Don't laugh at me.
Bro, hey.
I saw you both chuckle. So now finally I met a guy who does like coaching. He comes to my house.
That's
and
amazing.
It's a good price, so he can match my schedule. I just tell him what time I can work out that day. He'll show up. We'll do a boxing session. I'm slowly getting into it. I've been about 6 months now.
Yeah.
6 months or longer.
Good.
I think excuse me.
Otherwise, it would just be I'd learn on the street how to box.
You got to be like
It's like Street Fighter.
I imagine you
Street
like
Fighter.
6'3", 250 pounds of pure just smash devastation.
6'3", 265, and then I had the dental surgery. I dropped to 240. I'm back to 250, but I want to hit 274 by the next competition.
Did you have impacted molars? Wisdoms?
They weren't impacted. I had 2 broken molars on both sides, but because they were taking the molars out, they took the wisdom teeth as well. And
Might as well.
all 6 teeth were complicated extractions where I had to cut them into 4 and pull them out.
That was a big surgery.
And the sedation didn't work, so I was awake the whole
Logan
time.
has
too.
something similar to that.
No, I had periodontic disease, and they had to put me under for about 4 hours
Yeah,
and just fix my entire mouth and reconstruct my gums and stuff like that. That was
I was supposed to be put
interesting.
under. That didn't work though.
oh,
Yeah, how?
yeah.
So,
They had to keep doing it to me. I had
No, she
IV
was like, "Okay, I'm gonna
and
give
the
you the
numbing.
sedation now." And then the surgeon walks in the room like, "So you're gonna give me the sedation?" She's like, "I already did."
dude,
I'm like, okay.
I got.
Okay.
I had a really
Wow.
bad accident snowboarding in my early 20s to the point that I almost died. I was at the terrain park.
Mr. Extreme over here.
Yeah, I was at the terrain park. This was like my 4th, 5th time snowboarding, dude. Okay, but when you're snowboarding, you're there all day for like 7-8 hours. So just I was feeling confident and everything. The terrain park was at night. It was the last run. The terrain park at night gets completely covered in ice. It's going off of this huge tabletop. I'm thinking I'm freaking Sean White going onto the last jump.
Hey, I remember him. I had that
I
game.
lose
Played
air
it.
control in the middle of the arc. So instead of when you're going down and you're sliding, you go up. My board went perpendicular to the ground, and I belly flopped, and
That sounds like it
I
hurt.
shattered my spleen. I realized 2 hours into the ride home that I need to go to the hospital. I was dry heaving and in the fetal position until my mom got me, and I was going in and out of consciousness. Anyways, so the point of the story that I'm getting across is
He's like, hey, anyways.
I
like, I
almost
almost
died.
died.
So that's not the
Again.
important part.
the sedation, right? See, I'm going full circle here, baby. All right, I'm bringing the big enchilada here. So I had to get sedated before the surgery, and they're like, okay, just count down to 10. I'm like 10, 9, 8. I'm like, I'm not feeling anything. And then all of a sudden, I woke up in the
So there's a difference in like getting an actual anesthetic in the
Okay.
OR. Like I've had my appendix taken out, and same thing. You go into the room. I was like, I don't care what you guys do, just make sure I'm knocked out.
yeah.
And she's like, okay, start counting, and the next thing you know, you wake up. But
that's what happened to me
in
when I had back
Canada,
surgery.
for dental surgery, for the sedation, they give one bag to the nurse, and it's the same bag that a 100-pound person gets as a 6'3", 260-pound person gets.
Ooh.
So
That
she
doesn't
will
make
get
sense.
to get knocked out, but because I'm bigger and it takes more anesthesia, and they got to make it last the whole surgery, she can't give me a higher dose. It has to be a lower dose. So it literally felt like I did like a shot or 2 shots of vodka, and then I was kind of like laying there, like, okay, cool.
Look, they needed to bring you here in Miami. When they had this guy, he took out all 4 wisdom teeth in one shot. The guy hooked me up with some killer medicine, dude. It was amazing. Like he shot me like, I think it was twice here. Well, 4 on each side. And then he put this, I just remember the taste of it. It tastes like grape. And it just went down my throat. So everything was just numb. I was like, and
That's
He
what they did to
ripped-
me.
and he ripped and broke my tooth. But I just feel him just kind of like pulling here. And I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to feel anything. But no, I didn't feel nothing. I just felt the pressure and just him going,
Yeah,
and I
it
just feel
froze
the
me
blood.
too. I could feel like the freezing
Awesome.
wasn't bad when he was actually yanking on it, but there was twice on the right side where he was cutting the tooth in half with the drill, and I could actually feel the drill like getting lower. At the top, it wasn't bad, but as soon as it got lower, I was just like, nah.
Just let Mother Nature do its job. Who needs a hospital?
Yeah, we're good.
You know, trials and tribulations of life. When I had my wisdom teeth pulled, dude,
LMAP.
stuff
What's,
that they
what's LMAP?
I
What's
missed
LMAP?
the O, bro. Just relax, ignore it. Why'd you gotta bring it up?
Okay.
LMAO, bro.
I'm gonna
Damn it.
LMAP.
Yeah, it's Lamau.
Yeah. Yeah, trials and tribulations of life. Bless modern medical, dude. Otherwise, I'd have been dead, and I'd never be here at the podcast hanging out with three really cool people.
Yeah, I will say I agreed because, yeah, I found out after going in for the consultation and everything, the periodontist, she's like, yeah, you could be fine for another 6 months, 6 years, or you could be dead soon. I went,
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I was like, yeah, because it could get all up in your brain and everything. I was like, do it. Whatever you have to do, do
The
it.
dental infections, yeah.
Yeah, because of the disease. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had no
Anything to
clue.
do with your mouth or jaw, if you got infection there, you can transfer over into your brain as well.
Yeah, and I was told it was genetic, so I had no clue. So, and with my mom being adopted and my dad, I don't remember the last time I ever saw him. I had no clue this ran in my family. So, yeah, lucky me. But yeah, I will say that stuff is they put a needle in my gums. They stuck the needle in my arm and then put this, like you said, that grape flavored stuff. Is that really what it was? I couldn't even tell what flavor
I
that
didn't
was.
care what it was, dude. I'd say give me more, and then I panicked because I didn't know if I was swallowing. I was like, "Why am I can't feel it." They're like, "Sir, you're moving your throat. You're fine." I'm like, "I can't go." Oh, I was just all into it. It was so good.
Yeah, I just kept coming
good.
to every. I don't know how long it was because it was over 3.5 hours, and there were times where I could just start feeling everything right away, and I'm like, and then they just boom hit me with the stuff again, and I'm like out like that.
Yeah.
So it's not fun.
But you know what? I do have a question. I mean, besides the fact that we're all into talking about life and death experience, bodybuilding, and our
My
teeth.
fault. My fault.
No, it's fine. No, I'm actually okay with all this. But I am kind of curious to know about Redfall. I'm not sure.
Yes, I was going to say Redfall.
Yeah, we kind of just skipped that because
we totally skipped Redfall. I did want to bring it up.
I'm actually curious about it because I know there's a lot of bad news out there. I mean, I've been watching a lot of tubers and stuff like that about like Angry Joe and other people talking about Redfall and how bad it is. I just watch them because I was eating lunch and I was like, screw it. I need to get something out of my mind. But watching him talking about it, I was like, I'm kind of biased when it comes to him talking about it. So I'm kind of curious to know about your opinion, Jack, about the game itself, if you played it yet, or Nick or anybody in here.
Yeah, it is a first person. Do you play horror games like that, or do you play it on play?
I haven't played it. I know what it is. I've seen it and I've read reviews. And
have you played Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead?
No.
I want to play the second one. Actually,
you got
Left 4 Dead.
It's multiplayer and it looks like a
so
blast.
good.
I'm down for that.
With your buddies, you guys will have a blast, dude.
This is the
It's
poor
reason to
man's
play
Back
Left 4
for
Dead.
Blood.
That'll be, I think, good times.
Yeah, Back 4 Blood. I want to like it, and the difficulty scaling on it is really quite interesting too, because you have to put the game on easy in order to like enjoy the game. And sorry, I got side.
I think Redfall, to go back to Redfall, I think it goes back to the trend of what the gaming industry now is: release an unfinished turd, essentially that would be considered alpha or early beta, and then kind of work on it afterwards, after the release, after you got the money already and you already proven that it's worth continue working on. And if it's not worth continue working on, they just throw it in the dumpster and start working on the next game because they already made their money. And that's kind of, it seems the gaming industry is there at that point now. I know, like, imagine general stuff in your life would be in that same scenario. Like, you went and bought a cell phone or a car and they're like, here you go. And they sell you a broken car without brakes and a bunch of other shit. And they're like, we'll put it on later. Don't worry about it, man.
Subaru.
Don't worry about it. We'll get to it eventually.
That side panel?
Yeah.
No, you're good. We'll get it out later.
Don't worry about the engine. It's fine. There's no need no engine.
No, my car, I have a Hyundai Genesis, but that thing is tuned to the gills, dude. Like I have it to the point where it has like an extra verbal tune, so it goes pop 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 pop. I'm one of those guys.
Oh,
However,
you're one of those girls.
However, when I'm coming back late at night, I make sure that I'm very quiet with it. Now, Jacked, I originally thought that you had an Audi.
No,
but you not a belly button, but a car.
No,
I had to correct myself.
I've had a Mercedes, I've had a BMW, and now I switched to a Genesis G80 Sport.
That's right. It's the Genesis G80.
Yeah,
which is it's part of the bloodline. So we're I have a little Russian in me. We both drive Genesises, so we're kind of like comrades in a way.
There you go.
Wow. No.
Wait a minute. Isn't Genesis part of Hyundai?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
So essentially, look at it like Toyota and Lexus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genesis
Hyundai,
is
Genesis.
Chevrolet and Cadillac.
Yeah.
Now,
Got it.
To be fair, Genesis is. They directly said it's going to be a competitor for BMW, and there's real because
and
they
I switched
literally
from BMW to Genesis.
Yeah, dude, isn't that funny?
You won, bro.
but the engineer from that did the M series of BMWs is at Hyundai, dude. That's what the N series is.
I like how we just went Redfall cars.
Anyways, this is my prop. See, this is what you get. This is your fault. This is what happened.
You put him in charge. It's all on you, Logan.
It's not my fault that you just wish you were getting a
I'm just a nerd that's into a lot of different things, and I have really bad ADD. I'm trying to focus on it, and keep things.
You got to talk about your car. Why can't I talk about the one that I just ordered?
You got that big boy. You got that big boy. Big boy
I
truck.
I just got the Trail Boss. I've got what?
That's a big boy
3
truck.
months. Yeah. So I'm waiting for that to come in.
Custom made.
Did he give you something for now?
No. I still have a Trailblazer, but I had a Camaro last year.
That Camaro was awesome.
Stuff happened. Yeah, that was my baby. Stuff happened. My wife and I traded in both our cars to get one. We consolidated down to a new Trailblazer, and now I'm getting the new. I ordered the new 2023 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss. So yeah. They're nice here in Florida.
Yeah. What do you got, Punisher?
I got an Impala.
Nice.
What year?
2014 LT Impala. No, LS. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the old school Impala. I can totally see you like in one of those big body.
I could too. That's why I asked him what year right away when he said Impala. I was like, oh yeah.
Well, he is Cuban.
Miami.
The classic.
He is Cuban.
But my
riding
girl,
on 32s,
she's all blacked out. So I got 5% tints, black interior, black everything. So I just ride all dark in the car. So I don't want, just fly.
How many times have you gotten pulled over?
None, actually.
In Miami,
actually,
with 5.
Actually, you know what's funny that Nick says that? I was actually pulled over mostly when I had my big box Cadillac.
Really?
Imagine that. Yeah. I had a big blue DHS Cadillac. 1995, I think it was, or 2005, one of those years, and it was a big blue body kite. I was like, I loved it, man. It was awesome. And I used to get pulled over without even thinking. It was just like, okay, what happened? And I'm there, like, seatbelt on, pull my windows down. I'm like, is everything okay? He's like, yeah, look, you fit the description. I'm like, of course I do. Of course I do. But I was like, but I'll laugh with them. Just like, sure.
The car that I've actually got pulled over in for speeding.
What?
A 2014 Chevy Sonic RS.
Oh gosh, what's there like 3 cylinders in that thing?
No, it's 4, barely, but it's 4. It was 150 horsepower, and I got pulled over. I'm like, are you kidding me? That was in between my Cobalt and my Camaro.
Punisher, it's funny you say that. I had the BMW 750 Li.
Yeah.
Same thing. I used to get pulled over. Like if there was a cop, I'd get pulled over.
750s are big.
750 Li, yeah, man.
Yeah. A close friend of mine, she used to have an M2. One of the most beautiful cars BMW ever made was like a 2018 BMW.
Oh, I love that thing, man.
6-cylinder twin turbo. I told her to. She's a boss bitch. She's
750 V8.
Dude, oh my god, those cars, 400 horsepower stock on an M2. I told her, I'm like, you got to get intakes on there. We got to hear the turbos. Like there's so
many. My Camaro was 455 stock.
Put headers and an exhaust on a Camaro.
I didn't need to put any of that stuff on.
That's all you need on that thing. You'll piss your neighbors off so bad. I have a guy that has a 5.0 Mustang, a across the street from me. He's got a full racing exhaust. I hate him. I hate
I
him.
did the same thing
has-
on my
has a
V6
5.0.
Camaro. I had a
Miami is what?
V6.
Miami has everyone drives a 5.0. I cannot go
Yes.
one block without seeing a Mustang just fly by me. I'm like,
Or
oh, there it
Challenger.
goes.
I love
Well,
those
yeah.
videos. I love those videos where like it's cars and coffee and it's always the Mustang guys causing problems and accidents
Yep.
because they can't handle all the torque that's being pulled from the rear, and so they oversteer and
Spin around,
understeer.
yeah. Man, this 750 could burn rubber too for a big boat.
Those things.
And the best thing I think BMW has that I enjoyed, that I'm kind of like probably the one thing I miss from BMW compared to the Genesis, is in the BMW, the faster you go, the less steering assistance you get. So the more you
Really?
feel the road. So as soon as you hit the corner, even in the big boat 750, like you can feel the road in the wheel. Like you can tell exactly when you're going to break loose. Whereas in the Genesis, it feels like the power steering is like consistent regardless of the speed you're going.
So it's very gamey. That reminds me, I have a whole bring it back into games. I'm a really big gaming enthusiast as far as like the driving simulators, so like Project Cars and stuff.
I guess that's I play racing games too. When you ask
I
me
have
what
a-
other games I play, Formula
Yeah.
1, I'll play
Forza.
Dirt, I'll play a couple other ones. I didn't even think of that.
I love
Dude,
I was
I
just
have a-
finding Formula 1 the other
Yeah.
day. I spent like 6
Dude,
hours. I didn't even realize it.
That's me.
Dude,
and
it's
Forza.
amazing. Do you have a racing seat with force
I
feedback
wish.
wheel?
I wish.
I have that whole thing.
I
I'll send you a
wish.
picture. I'll send you a picture of my little thing. Like it's an entry level wheel, but it's the wheel's only like $300. But
Listen, Mr.
I have, like,
Brandonocious over here.
I
You know
I
what?
have
want
like
that, I
Oh,
want
it's
it. I
nothing. You
got
know, a
it.
couple of $1,000
I
to do
got
that. Yeah.
no,
I can
but
splurge a little
dude,
money here and
you-
there. It's all right.
you lose yourself. You lose yourself in this
Okay,
stuff.
Eminem.
And well, dude, you know, I'm the type of guy too. Like I've showed this before on stream. Like I have like I know you're flying right now, dude. I have a HOTAS setup. I have joysticks and a big $300 throttle and everything. That's a replica of an A10
You play
Warthog.
War
Which
Thunder? DCS?
no, man, my buddy was trying to get me in that game like a couple years ago. I just never got into it. But I have
I've
Microsoft
got a
Flight Simulator.
lightsaber.
But
Does that count?
but like you said with the controls in the steering wheel, it's amazing when you have a force feedback wheel how much you
Yeah.
can feel a car in a racing sim like Project Cars 2, for example.
Yeah.
You could feel which tire is actually spinning out. You can you counter steer, you do all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's so much
That's
fun.
one thing that out of all the cars I've driven, BMW does a really great job on, is having the dial on the power steering. Like the more speed you pick up, the less power steering you get, so you feel the road.
That's really smart. That's really smart.
I've been dying to drive a Hellcat. Like I really want to drive
It's
a
a boat.
Hellcat.
It's driving a boat.
Dude.
I love those cars.
So
My Camaro.
A
kill him.
boat, but does it look good?
I would kill him.
Does it sound good? Yes and yes.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. It better look good and sound good. That's what I'm talking about. at
I
least.
was faster and prettier.
well, here's the thing too.
What
With
do you
those
have for
wieners,
the Camaro? The LZ1?
No, I had
the
LZ1.
LZ1 is what you want, dude.
The
You want
ZL1.
the
No,
ZL1.
The ZL1 was actually they
Nasty.
didn't have any in
It's a
stock,
beast.
and it had 100 more horsepower, but it was like $20,000 more, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh,
because that motor, you
okay."
could do so much more with that
Yeah.
motor.
Yeah,
that
it's
motor
a beast
is
of a motor. But I
insane.
did have the standard SS engine in it with the 455, and I think I had 410, 420 pounds of torque. I think that's what it was. And on a car that was around 3,000 pounds was ridiculous. I think at 3,100 pounds.
Did you take it to the track though?
I was gonna say.
I got it right before I
Otherwise,
moved.
what's the point of all that power?
I planned on it,
I wonder-
but they actually closed down the one that's here. Well, it was in West Palm Beach. It was about maybe an hour north. They closed it down, and I'm like, all right. So, and then once I moved
Race the
upstate,
cops.
there's really nothing up here. So I have to go back down there.
So here in Illinois, we have a little south of Chicago. There is a race course out there where I did one of those driving experiences where you pay like a couple $100. I drove a Ferrari F430, which unbelievable car. I'm a Ferrari
You
guy.
got the racing sim that I want, and then I'm doing the thing that I want to do.
And then I drove a
Look at this
Lamborghini Gallardo. See, we're comrades though, Jack. You see this? Like we're related,
Wow.
but not
It's because
related.
he's in real estate, man. As soon as you do anything real estate, bro, you're making bread.
Yeah, no.
Doing
I
the
wish.
3D models for real estate,
Dude, I'm actually like, we won't get into it. Like, I lost my major source of income this year. I'm actually like been part-time working with the architectural design company, which I've always worked for, but they don't have enough work for me to be full-time. So, but we got Ecstasy.
Is
So-
this
so
one of
I-
your regulars, Jack?
with that theme. Not familiar. It's probably
Okay.
gonna count.
Now,
Yo,
now,
Someone who knows you.
so I okay, we're at the hour mark. I don't know how
Oh,
how
yeah.
much more
Palm Beach
time,
International Raceway.
because I do want to I do want to ask you if you want to what the future is for the JackedZilla franchise. And I want to point out, when I'm working out and I get really sweaty, I always make sure to
It's not that kind of podcast.
to dry
It's not
myself
that
off with my
Hey.
JackedZilla merch.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Look at this, dude.
You know what I'm saying? I get a little sweaty. You know, like, and sometimes I'll wear the shirt. You know, like in the movie Pumping Iron, where Lou Ferrigno's like Arnold. I wear my JackedZilla shirt. I'm like jacked.
There's another. I already made the shirts and everything, man, but I can't justify paying the cost now that they're charging for the freaking shirts. Like,
Well,
I'm trying
yeah,
to find a private place where I can just print a whole bunch of them and just ship them from my house.
Yeah,
Are you talking
Like,
about
after the
Teespring?
website hosting and everything, I'm looking at, like, I'd have to sell a minimum of 10 shirts a month just to break even.
So let me see here. I'm
Wow,
looking
you just
right
got
now.
super pale. That light.
Yeah, because I
You got super fail.
I'm
You're
trying
like
to
me.
I'm trying
Actually, I
to
wanted
put.
say,
You
I'm
got
not-
Irish.
Jack, can you do that one more time for me?
Wow.
Yeah, do that whole sweat thing for me one more time. Just
Oh, me? Oh,
go a
so-
little slow when you do it.
so you know what,
This
man?
is what we devolved into.
This is you know what you should do, Jack.
Every episode, something new.
There,
From
get
Mafia?
yourself a heat press. you can get your what I missed it. What? Anyway, I missed the joke. Sorry, it went over my head. Get yourself a
Repeat it one
heat
time?
press, because I'm like nerding out right now, because
Yeah.
this
I
is
love it.
how you make your money. Get yourself a heat press. They range from anywhere to $300 to $600.
Bold
And then-
of you to assume I got the funds to spend right now.
Well, I mean, sorry for.
Hey, there you go,
There-
Chewbacca.
Okay.
That's better. What's up, Chewbacca?
But before I go on with this whole thing, how much are you down to hang for a little bit longer here on the podcast, or what's your time like?
I'm down until the woman comes down and brings me food.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair enough. Fair enough. That's taste,
Understandable.
But what's the future for JackedZilla and the JackedZilla brand?
Man, it's hard to say with the way Call of Duty is going. Like, I would love to keep playing Call of Duty because
Mhm.
everybody has Call of Duty. We can all vibe out and have fun on it. But Jesus Christ, man, they're killing their game quick, man. Quick.
Mhm.
And then trying to find another cross-platform game that kind of like everybody's into and all the boys are into and everybody wants to play together is hard as well.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, it's back to what I was doing like late days of Modern Warfare 2019, where like a couple of days a week I'll play something else so I can have fun, and then we go back
Yeah.
to Call of Duty where we kind of torture each other and get through the torture of COD for the night.
Mhm.
But usually Fridays and Saturdays are fun because we drink and we kind of we
I
don't
know,
really
dude.
focus on gameplay. Everybody's just shooting the shit and hanging out instead of actually giving a shit about the game, which makes it better. We got the
Definitely-
more
definitely buy
RGB
more.
t-shirts.
Yeah, buy more of my t-shirts. I'm actually going to make shirts for the podcast. I need to do that so people can start supporting by
I
buying
thought,
podcast shirts.
I've really been trying to gung-ho my YouTube channel, right? Which, ladies and gentlemen, at Click to Enlarge. Like, subscribe. Oh, wait, also like and subscribe to Red Bandana Gaming down there. I'm not doing my job, Logan. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, you're
As
not.
host, I'm doing this is the first time I'm actually like hosting the RedE2Start podcast. So I do feel actually I appreciate that, Logan. I feel very
You're welcome
honored
for that.
and privileged.
I hope it wasn't like just too much throwing it in your face.
Dude, I take it to the face all the time.
Hi, good job.
See, I'm
that one.
self-deprecating. I'm self-deprecating for laughs, for the goofs, laughs, and the gaffs. Looks like the that's the checkout time for Jacked. I don't know, but if
Oh,
definitely you'll save a lot of money, man, if you get yourself a heat press and look and
You
find
need
a
to
place.
print shit as well, right? Though.
Yeah, so it's called a transfer. Find a company that will do transfers for you, and usually you have to buy them in bulk. And each place has like a different price. But I got the athletic fit on this, and a heat press. You have to be careful. So if you get like materials for shirts, like a material like this, you have to look up how because this is done from a heat press, a heat transfer. You have to be very careful on how hot you have to get it in order for it to stick and everything like that. But I believe in you, dude.
Try like I use Teespring.
Yeah.
And the local printers for that, at least when I was living in South Florida, were not as good as the ones. I don't know who they use up here because I moved into Central Florida. It's a completely different company. They're better quality. But the ones I had before, they'd look nice, but then they would like chip away the heat press. The ones that would it would just start fading.
Yeah, I got a buddy here that runs a t-shirt company.
Oh, okay.
He makes workout shirts, and I'm kind of like nudging and quietly trying to sneak his supplier out of him so I can go and print some of my own tees. I'm like, hey man, like I'll pay you a little bit if you want to get my tees thrown in with your tees.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
There is one company that I bought.
Squeeze together.
Sticker Mule. They started doing shirts. They're really good quality. The only thing is you can't like set up a shop and put them on your channel or your Twitch or your YouTube like you can with it's Teespring, and what's the other one that other people
there's a lot of them. There's Teespring, Redbubble, there's Printful, there's Printify. Like I've looked at all of them, and it's all ends up being like one compared to having a manufacturer print them for you, where you print like 100 at a time type of thing. I got to charge insane amount for the t-shirt. And on top of that, the website hosting costs and everything for e-commerce, you're, like I said, I'll be looking at minimum of 10 shirts, and I have to charge like 35 to 40 bucks US per shirt to make it worth a while.
I'm not
just to
seeing
break even at the end of the month.
They used to be cheaper on Teespring. Now,
they used to be.
Teespring
Everything used to be cheaper a year, 2-3 years ago until COVID hit. And now we're paying on everything.
Oh, I miss 2019. Those were the days.
Like a decent quality shirt now to print, even through Printful, you're looking at about 20 bucks, 23 bucks, plus taxes, plus shipping. So like after shipping and everything, like for me to make $3 to $4 on the shirt, I got to charge like 40 bucks.
So what did you end up making? I'm trying to find your store. I mean, I bought this a while ago. I don't know if this is on your store anymore.
I think that store is still up, but I made something else, but it's not uploaded to that store.
Do you have a link for us to post in the comments?
No. Because I didn't make the website or anything because I can't do it right now. I'm trying to
prepare
find
to this stuff, dude.
I'm trying to get a local manufacturer so I could ship them from my house and actually be like, click to enlarge. Thank you for ordering the shirt. Appreciate your support.
Personable with it.
You look handsome, And
thank you so much. It's the jawline, It's the jawline.
Is it really though?
No, it's not.
I think it's the guns.
It's the guns.
It's the guns.
But yeah, no, I always I've always really envied how well your stream looks and how just in general, like your community and how you stream and just and how everything. No, dude. And I'm not. I was like, because when I started streaming, I didn't know. I have a whole theme for my stream. Right. So usually this background's animated, like I'm in space. That's my thing, because I always wanted to bring people out of reality and bring them to somewhere else that's special. And you do it very well with like look at how amazing your setup is in the back, dude. Like it's so
like
super
you're going to a lounge, a little club,
dude, exactly.
It's drink.
And that's the vibe I get too. Like you like.
And I'm just a nerd with a bunch of Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles figures behind me.
Everybody's got their vibe, man. Everybody's got their thing.
If you guys can see my vagina repellent next to me right now,
like I'm just here, bro.
Well, I'm married, so I'm a happy man. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
where's your vagina repellent there, Nick?
Yeah, so I have a whole. I'll post it in the Discord or even on my.
I think you did already.
Well, it's almost finished now. I have a whole vagina repellent set up over here. Now, did that stop? Does that ever stop the ladies? Absolutely not. So I don't really care. I own it. You know, you got to own those
Power
type
to
of
the
things.
penis.
See,
There's nothing wrong with
nothing
Power
wrong.
Rangers. Yeah,
Nope.
At all.
I nothing at all. I mean,
My whole wall.
I mean,
Power
I
Rangers tattoo for God's sake.
we talked about this last stream, dude. I was a little kid, and boy, did I like Kimberly. We all loved the Pink
did.
Ranger.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, did you ever watch Power Rangers, man? Or you missed
No,
the
we
boat
had
on
we
Power
had Russian
Rangers?
cartoons, Soviet era cartoons.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you said you were in
Yeah.
Estonia till 8. Yeah, I mean,
It's all right.
it's
That's
okay.
all right.
Missing
Yeah,
much.
bro, they were awesome. I loved them.
Is there one particular one that like you remember when you were younger? Like this was like one of my favorite ones. I want to look one up. Umbagadi. How do you spell it?
Bagadi. Nubagati. I think will be kind of in English letters. It's about a wolf and a rabbit.
I see that, a wolf and a rabbit.
Sounds
I wonder
awesome.
if they have
Yeah.
English translation. Nubagadi. Nubagadi. Oh, Nupagadi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out. You know, because that's like that reminds me. The way it looks is like Tom and Jerry, dude. Tom and Jerry. I grew up on Tom and Jerry.
It's got the
cartoons.
similar vibe, but it's got more, Russian in it.
See, I was always one of those Disney kids that watched, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, and then what was it?
Ariel made me feel things
Looney
as a
Tunes.
kid.
No, I like Jasmine. I was a Aladdin fan, and I like Jasmine. I was that.
From my childhood, it was I as a grown man, I could still watch The Little Mermaid, and what else? One of my favorite movies of all time.
Don't you have a thing for fish?
Well, I like aquatics.
I watched Mermaid 2, and then I was like, screw it, I'll go find myself a ginger.
Well, dude, I'm not gonna say that. I'm 5 years old. You know when it came out.
Wait, what?
Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Roger Rabbit.
Jessica
Remember
Simpson.
when Mrs. Rabbit was coming out there and dancing as a kid? My mom probably saw me rewind that scene over and over and over again. Because I was a kid, I was hoping there might be a nip slip or something. Right? Maybe if I watch it
Maybe
this
if I
time.
rewind it one more time.
yeah, not gonna lie.
Yes,
We all
yes,
love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
that was me as a kid. But Who Framed Roger Rabbit was still a phenomenal
Oh, hell
movie.
yeah.
If you guys have not seen it,
Oh,
I don't know.
it.
You know,
I'm
I
gonna-
know, Jack. You probably got to go now.
Yeah, I'm
Or-
gonna dip out. I gotta
Yeah.
go eat before the food gets cold.
Yeah,
That's no
absolutely.
problem. So
Everybody, it was nice meeting you guys.
you too.
Yeah.
Let's
Pleasure.
Fun
Nick,
shooting the shit.
end the podcast. So we'll just end it here. So you know what to do. Go ahead. You started it. You end it.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here at the Ready to Start podcast here with JackedZilla. Jack, can you tell us where we can find you on your socials?
JackedZilla everywhere.
All right. What about you,
Literally
Punisher?
is. That's how I found him.
You were saying
Follow
where
him
to
on
find him.
everything.
He's
It was
right there.
very simple. Very
He's
simple.
right
Yeah.
down here. I see him.
And the YouTube link is in the description. So
What
You
a
can
Punisher?
cross
Come on.
subscribe.
Platform is very important. Keep the same name. That's the biggest mistake I see
Yep.
people make is changing
Yep.
their name on everything they're on.
sweet.
Yep.
I have my same name on everything except for Twitter because Red Bandana Gaming doesn't fit on Twitter.
And for me, it's Miami Geek on Instagram because that bastard took my S. But it's fine because I'm still cool. I don't care. But you can still find me Miami
You're
Geeks
cool-ish.
on pretty much anywhere.
Without that S, you're cool-ish.
I write around. It's okay. It's okay. You don't get us all fancy about this, but you can still find me anywhere. But I'm usually on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and put Miami Geeks, you're gonna see my pretty face or my little tiny robot. If you don't know what the little tiny robot looks like, it's this little guy right here. Boop, boop, right there.
Link in the description below. Everybody's
Yeah,
link below.
it's all down there.
All right, Logan. Where can we find you, Logan?
Here.
Right there.
Here. You're on it. Red Bandana Gaming.
Right there.
On everywhere
right,
except for Twitter. Twitter is RBG_retro. You know how hard that is to go Red Bandana Gaming on everything but Twitter.
Yeah, true.
They went Red Bandana Gam. I was like, son of a. Yeah.
But everyone, you can find me at Click to Enlarge Everything. I appreciate everybody for coming on in here. JackedZilla, you're awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us. I hope maybe in the future you'd be down again to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Good times.
everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe here to the Ready to Start podcast here on the Red Bandana Gaming channel. And you know what we say around here. Be legendary.
Ha! You stole my line.
Damn.
That is my line.
You told me to finish it out, bro.
Yeah, you
And I
don't
finished
steal
it.
my line. It's
Go ahead,
legendary.
All right,
Thanks
there you go.
again.
Technically.
You know what?